Jaguar Wright is back again, stirring up a storm with shocking claims about Stefon Diggs. This all pops off right after Cardi and JT were trading jabs over whose man is more gay than the other. And now the drama's exploding even bigger. Jaguar's saying Stefon isn't just on the down low. He's allegedly been preying on his own circle of light-skinned men, and Chris Griffith isn't the only one speaking up about it. According to her, a whole list of men have quietly reached out to spill their stories about what Stefon supposedly did to them, and every single one of them fits his type. Jaguar even claims Stefon hooked up with Cardi B just to keep his lifestyle under wraps. But somewhere along the way, Cardi allegedly lost control of her plan and ended up pregnant after sleeping with him in an attempt to spite Offset. Now, Jaguar says, she's stuck with a DL baby daddy who allegedly never even liked her to begin with. Chris first broke his allegations about Stefon in October last year, when he posted footage of Stefon's brother and his goons allegedly jumping and robbing him in an elevator. At first, it just looked like a straight-up attack, but then Chris dropped the bombshell. He said Stefon himself ordered it after Chris rejected his alleged advances to have a freaky night back when Chris was working as his stylist. Chris put it in his own words. Stefon tried to mess with me and then sleep with me, but I escaped untouched, thank God. But once I knew his secret, he couldn't stand it. He says that weeks after this failed attempt, because he don't play like that, the tension blew up. Chris claims Stefon's half-brother Durez, who he says is broke, with 3 kids and no support from Stefon, since they didn't even meet until Durez was about 12, saw the falling out as an opening to make a move. Chris says Durez tried to rob his home for his Chrome Hearts collection, jackets with hundreds of crosses, designer bags, and more. Chris also claims the first thing Durez said when he stepped out of the elevator was, "What's up with all that chrome?" Chris says the 2 other crash-outs Durez allegedly brought along didn't even care about the cameras because their real goal was to shut him up about Stefon's secret life and to leave him in his own apartment after taking everything. And Chris swears this isn't even the full tea, but says the public's been fed a theft story to hide the darker truth, that he was drugged and targeted because he refused to play along. Chris made it clear. Unlike him, I live my life as a 100% straight man who doesn't experiment. He said he's got nothing to hide and doesn't need clout for telling the truth. I produce receipts like a printer, he said, daring people to keep talking in the comments while he sticks to facts. And believe it or not, Offset had already hinted at this a while back when he accused Stefon of being gay too. It all started when one of Cardi's fans got slick in Offset's comment section writing, "B, you're a loser. No cap." Offset didn't let it slide. He clapped back with, "Bother the gay boyfriend." That one reply set the internet on fire. Everyone knew exactly who he was referring to, Stefon Diggs. Now, since the case with Chris is still playing out in court, he's been legally forced to stay quiet, but all of it got dragged back into the spotlight again after that messy back and forth between Cardi and JT over whose man is more gay than the other. It all kicked off when Cardi dissed JT in her new track Magnet, calling her a Nicki Minaj groupie and saying she's dating a DL man. Cardi didn't hold back. She rapped, "Now let's talk about this hating B, ungrateful B, fake friend B, clown B. Your loyalty depends who you around, B. She just mad she got a man, she be sharing bags with my man. Cheat, but I don't stick no sticks in his behind, B." That line had social media going wild, especially the part about sticks in his behind. Everyone instantly knew she was trying to clown JT about Uzi, but JT wasn't having it. She fired back hard, and this time she brought up Stefon's name too. See, unlike Uzi, Stefon's situation isn't just internet talk. His name is tied to an actual assault lawsuit. That's way bigger than just rumors based on a man's fashion choices. So the fact that Cardi decided to open that door was crazy. JT used it as ammo and went all in. She brought up a recent interview Chris did with Tasha K, where he detailed what allegedly went down. Chris claimed Stefon gave him a spiked jelly bean, and once it kicked in, Stefon started touching him, licking his ear, and even pulled out his D, right there in front of him. JT reacted in disbelief, posting, "This is crazy and sad. Gay men should be protected. I feel like this isn't being taken seriously enough." Then she went all the way in, tagging Cardi directly. "Cardi B, baby father a gay." Not because of how he dress or express himself, but because Chris said it out his own mouth. "Justice for Chris, I stand with the gay." Cardi wasn't about to stay silent either. She clapped back instantly, denying every single thing JT and Chris said. But she didn't stop there. She flipped the script and started dragging JT for allegedly ending multiple pregnancies for Uzi, saying he doesn't even want kids with her. The internet went insane after that one, with fans picking sides like it was a rap civil war all over again. After that chaos, social media turned into a full-blown battlefield. Fans were throwing clips, screenshots, and old interviews like grenades, trying to figure out who was lying and who was covering for who. Some people sided with JT, saying she was only defending the truth and standing up for Chris, while others claimed she was just using the whole thing to embarrass Cardi publicly. Either way, the situation turned ugly fast, and the deeper people dug, the darker it got. Jaguar Wright then reappeared out of nowhere and decided to double down. She went live claiming that Stefon's situation was way deeper than the public realized. According to her, there's a full-blown pattern here, and Chris wasn't the only one he allegedly messed with. She said multiple men reached out to her privately, sharing stories that all sound the same. Stefon allegedly using his fame to lure people in, then flipping on them when they didn't play along. Jaguar even claimed some of them were afraid to go public because they didn't want their families or careers destroyed. Then she threw in another wild twist. She said Cardi knew about it the whole time. Jaguar claimed that Cardi allegedly used the situation to her advantage, saying she stuck around because she knew what he was hiding, and that's why she could control him when things got rough. But Jaguar didn't stop there. She hinted that Cardi's team might have tried to silence Chris at one point to keep things from going viral again. Fans flooded her comments demanding receipts, and Jaguar said, "Baby, the receipts are coming. I got people in my DMs shaking right now." At the same time, clips from Chris's old live streams started circulating again, ones where he looked shaken and said he feared for his safety. He said, "People don't understand how deep this goes. These men have power, money, and connections. You speak up and suddenly, you're the problem." That quote had fans terrified, with some tagging major outlets demanding an investigation. Meanwhile, Cardi jumped back online acting totally unbothered, posting selfies, dancing to her own music, and tweeting, "They stay bringing my name up like I ain't got billboard plaques." But people weren't buying it. The comments were filled with people calling her out, saying she was pretending to laugh while panicking behind the scenes. JT, on the other hand, was on Spaces talking about how the truth always comes to light. "When it's real, you don't gotta force it," she said. And that line alone had everyone assuming she was talking about Cardi and Stefon's whole situation. Now the internet's completely divided. Some think it's all clout chasing and lies, while others believe this is one of the biggest cover-ups in celebrity gossip history. One thing's for sure, this drama isn't dying down anytime soon. Cardi tried to flip the narrative fast, saying Chris lied because he was stealing and got caught. She swore she had receipts for everything, claiming Chris had also lied on Giovanna Davis and kept switching his story 1,000 times. Then she said something that made people raise their eyebrows. "I want justice for them babies!" Ask him what he told me about how he felt when he wanted to see Britt in that courtroom and she didn't show up, or do I need to play the audio? She even teased that he'd said wild things about Roc Nation, calling him ungrateful. The drama was heating up, and Cardi made sure to keep the spotlight burning. But then she went even further. Cardi popped up on IG Live, threatening to drop private videos between JT and Uzi if JT didn't stop talking about Stefon's alleged sexuality. She warned, "I got everything saved, don't make me post it." That threat alone sent social media into meltdown mode. JT wasn't letting that slide. She clapped back immediately, reminding everyone that Cardi's no saint either, and that her own explicit clips from her dancer days are still all over the internet. JT said, "You can't clown nobody about videos when you was out here doing the absolute most, putting foreign objects in your body. And baby, she ate with that one." People were screaming in the comments, saying Cardi was the last person who should ever try to shame somebody else for explicit content when hers is still floating around in HD. The math just wasn't mathing, and everyone knew it. While this back and forth was going viral, Jaguar Wright jumped right into the mix, and this move shocked everyone. She's never liked JT, so fans couldn't believe she was siding with her this time. But Jaguar said she wasn't defending JT. She was calling out Cardi and Stefon. Jaguar went off, saying Cardi should be grateful to Offset because The Migos is the only reason she even made it. She also doubled down on her claims about Stefon, calling him DL and saying he only dates women to make people think he's straight. But she didn't stop there. Jaguar accused Stefon of targeting light-skinned men and using his goons to threaten them into silence, just like he allegedly did to Chris. Fans in the comments went wild. One person wrote, "Diggs said, 'Man, I'm digging you now. How about you let me dig in you?' Another added, 'Diggs dresses sassy as ever, so I can see this happening.'" So now we gotta ask, what do you think about these wild allegations against Stefon Diggs? Do you believe he really targeted Chris, and is Jaguar Wright actually telling the truth this time? Drop your thoughts down below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click here to watch the next messy video. 'Cause this story just keeps getting crazier.